A young soldier's whispered vow in a war-torn room sparked a revolution that shook the world. The room was still, heavy with dust, a creaky ceiling fan turning lazily overhead. Ibrahim Traoré, barely 22, sat on a thin mattress in a northern Burkina Faso military base, his hands shaking as he unfolded a letter worn from countless readings. His mother's words stared back. "My son, never forget who you are, even when the world seeks to crush you." Outside, gunfire cracked the night. His unit had just staggered back from a brutal mission. His closest friend, a brother in arms, had fallen, blood soaking the earth. No time to grieve, only orders to obey. The war raged on. But that letter, tucked like a sacred oath in his pocket, anchored him. Under a flickering bulb, he gazed at a tattered map of Burkina Faso pinned to the wall and whispered, "One day, this nation will rise, and I'll help forge it." He didn't know how or when, but in that raw moment, something inside him ignited. This was where his journey began. It was 2015. Ibrahim had risen swiftly through the ranks, known for his quiet courage. That morning, his unit was dispatched to a remote village near the Mali border. Intelligence claimed terrorists held it, but what they found shattered every soul there. Women bound with ropes, children barefoot and starving, a school reduced to smoldering ash. Ibrahim stood amid the devastation, eyes locked on a charred wall where a child had sketched Burkina Faso's flag in charcoal before flames consumed it. Villagers cowered, mistaking the soldiers for enemies. An old man clutched a stick, shielding his granddaughter. Ibrahim stepped forward, unarmed, and knelt, his voice trembling. "We're here to protect, not harm." That moment shifted everything. For the village, for him. He stayed through the night, listening, sharing meals, weeping with them. Their eyes held pain, but also a flicker of hope. Back in the capital, he refused a medal, telling his commander, "Medals don't feed children." Those words echoed, marking the day a soldier became something greater. By 2018, Ibrahim was in Ouagadougou, pulling night shifts at the intelligence office. One evening, he opened a sealed folder by mistake, marked confidential, high level. Its contents gutted him. Reports of rampant corruption, vanishing weapons, foreign deals signed while soldiers died in tattered boots, starving. Even aid for schools had evaporated. He locked the file, but sleep fled. Was this what his brothers bled for? He stared at a photo of his 2016 unit. Only 5 of 12 still lived. The next morning, he requested a private meeting with his superior, placing the file on the desk. "Sir, we must address this." The officer's smile was ice. "Want to play hero, Traoré? Forget this exists." That moment unveiled a truth. Speaking out could cost him everything: rank, honor, life. But he didn't destroy the file. He copied it, and from that night, he began plotting something vast, moving in shadows, because this wasn't just about protection anymore. It was about justice. Past midnight, Ibrahim's phone rang, an unknown number. A hushed voice warned, "They know what you saw. Burn the files, or they'll bury you." He stood frozen in his cramped room, a single lamp's glow etching his weary face. Dogs barked faintly outside, fear seeped into the walls. He crossed to a wooden box, lifting out photos of children from that border village. One boy's drawing of a peaceful Burkina Faso, stained with ash. Bai stared back. "If I stay silent," he whispered, "who speaks for them?" He wrote a letter to his mother, hiding it under his mattress. "If I fall, Ims forgive me. You're sorry. I tried to do right." He whispered. Sleep eluded him, slipped. At dawn, Ibrahim reported slipped duty for duty, eyes burning with a new fire. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a quiet flame against darkness, the dark. Whispers spread rumors. Captain Traoré asks whispered too many secrets, questions, watches the wrong shadows. Some called Traoré him reckless, but he was meticulous. Nights spent mapping were consumed, poring over maps, operations, and logistics. Mornings, he'd training hard, harder than any, his commitment unassailable. In Shadow's secret, he forged bonds with young soldiers sickened by corruption, but too scared to act. He didn't lecture, listened. He listened, kindling their courage. One stormy night, a recruit knocked, drenched, trembling, and shaking. "Sir," he confessed, "they're diverting weapons meant for civilians. I've proof." Ibrahim shook, took the folder shaking as lightning cracked, flashed, revealing untouchable signatures of names, protected, untouchable. "You're brave, Traoré," he told the boy, "but now you're in danger." The recruit nodded. "I trust you, Captain." That night, Ibrahim saw clearly it. Traoré's, this wasn't just about truth. It was about shielding souls, those still believing in justice. There, the spark, caught silent resistance, began to burn. In 2019, Ibrahim Traoré's men convoy halted near a crumbling, collapsed school in a flood-ravaged province, a deluge of despair. While officials flaunted aid for cameras, Traoré Ibrahim wandered to the wreckage's edge, finding where a boy, barely 7, sat in mud, clawing, digging with a stick, face drained, hollowed. "What are you searching for?" Ibrahim whispered. Traoré asked softly, voice soft, steady. "My notebook," the child boy muttered, eyes down. "I was going to be the first to graduate, finish school." Silence crushed Traoré, Ibrahim's heart. Kneeling, he said, "What if I vow we'll promise to rebuild your school?" The boy's gaze lifted, met his, wary. "They promise, then vanish. People always promise." Those words shattered, tore him apart inside. Traoré Ibrahim canceled his schedule, staying to haul mud, carry bricks, stack bricks, share meals, food, scraps, swearing an oath never to be a man who abandons leaves. A promise broken. A journalist snapped a candid photo, shot Traoré Ibrahim carrying the boy through the floodwater, a fleeting glimpse of hope. It flooded social media viral, but Ibrahim Traoré shunned fame, cared only for a child who'd lost trust, faith, a boy who echoed his own younger childhood self, long ago. On a blistering, scorched afternoon in a northern conflict zone, war's crucible, Ibrahim's unit team was ambushed. Their bullets ripped, tore through the chaos dust, screams swallowed by the gale wind. Traoré Ibrahim spotted a teenage fighter, barely a teen, aiming at his men, finger trembling on the trigger at one of his soldiers. Traoré's own rifle weapon jammed, a fatal falter. In a heartbeat, he lunged, tackling Ibrahim the boy to the dirt ground, pinning him down. The child shook, trembled, weapon slipping, dropping his gun. Ibrahim tore off his mask, revealing not a murderer-killer, but a terrified boy, shoeless, scarred child, leg scarred and shoeless, forced into this hell war. "This isn't your fight," Traoré Ibrahim said softly, voice firm, steady. A soldier's cam helmet recorded it, a fleeting choice of mercy over vengeance wrath. Later, in his journal, Traoré Ibrahim wrote, "A boy held a gun, but his soul begged for salvation. That act moment proved true power. Strength isn't lies in firing, but in holding back, sparing a life." Early 2024-2020 brought grim news, a black-sealed letter to Traoré's base, military code for family death loss. His uncle, a second father after his father's passing, who'd raised him like a son, was gone. Duty chained, tethered him to the front lines. He couldn't mourn at the funeral. Calling that night, he called home. His mother's quivering, trembling voice pierced, slicing. "He, your uncle, kept your letter by his bedside. Always. Bet, it said, he believed you'd undo you what no one else dared could." By Traoré's a lone soldier, alone by campfire, as comrades laughed to bury their fears war. Ibrahim shattered inside. Grief stung. He'd missed farewell, goodbye. But that uncle's faith was his farewell, enough. A quiet testament to resilience. That empty funeral chair fueled became his drive. A beacon that those we love don't need to see our finish line. Just trust will races run at end. In 2023, atop a Ouagadougou rooftop in 2021, Ibrahim Traoré gazed at city lights, clutching a final ultimatum warning: halt investigations, or face exile, dishonorable discharge. His career, his purpose, life's work, hung by a thread, teetered. His men were shadowed, a comrade friend had vanished. His name was now venom poison in elite circles, the capital. For the first time he whispered, "Is this worth it?" Wandering Traoré's heart wandered empty streets till dawn. Heart, a heavy burden heart. At a school gate, a child's chalk sketch stopped him. A man with flag and book captioned, "A brave soul will heal our land one day." It wasn't a dream, a summons call. Facing his reflection back in his room, he vowed, facing the mirror, "I didn't come to falter here to stop." That dawn, he chose cunning strategy, not surrender bullets, and a storm began to brew, silent, unstoppable. Late one night, soldier Kadir slipped in, knocked, whispering, eyes darting, "Captain, this can't wait. You need this." He handed Traoré a recording from a covert drill, a trusted voice plotting betrayal. Playing it, Ibrahim's face tensed. Traoré's too reckless, bold. Stop him, or he'll lose us all everything. Silence crushed trust. The army's sacred bond lay in ruins, trust. Sacred in the army, shattered. Traoré Ibrahim held his tongue, not striking, confronting the traitor yet. His notebook read, "Not the end. This is the crucible before ascent." He wrote in his journal, "This isn't the end. It's the test before ascent." Betrayal, not glory applause, would carve his path. Yet he marched on. Weeks later, in a forsaken northern village, barefoot children greeted Ibrahim Traoré's convoy with tiny flags, cheering their voices a fragile chorus of hope. An elder woman slipped a note into his trembling hands, trembling. "My grandsons," she said, in shaky, broken French. "Dear Captain Ibrahim, I don't want war. I want school. My mother calls me your brave. Help us." The words burned and soothed, stabbed and warmed him. Traoré walked the village, witnessing famine, silence, and resilience hunger. By lantern's glow under lantern light, he pledged, "This uniform makes me yours. I'm one of you. I won't forget you. This place." No press, no cameras, just a vow and eyes alight with hope eyes. Ibrahim's sleep fled Traoré. How could sleep when a shoeless boy's plea echoed his own heart's cry? He rest with such dreams unanswered. Months before global fame, the president called, voice glacial. "Your unsettling nerves, Captain Traoré. Making this isn't your battle. Be wary. You could lose your future." Ibrahim Traoré hung up, hands quaking, not for himself, but for those he'd sworn to shield trembling. His heart pounded, not with fear for himself, but for those he'd vowed to protect. That night, rallying in a meeting with loyal officers, he declared, "No retreat but no guns. Weapons here. We fight with truth." Confused, they leaned in. His faint smile lit the room. With evidence, with the nation's pulse, people's hearts. A movement sparked was born, too vast mighty for armies to quell. Before dawn, an unsigned note slid under his door. "Arrest planned tonight. Flee, vanish now." His pulse roared, thundered. He read it twice, then burned it by candlelight, flames dancing like his fate, uncertain future. Determined yet calm, Traoré Ibrahim packed his journal and flag, slipping past elite guards who'd once called him kin brother, now shadows of betrayal. In Ouagadougou's quiet outskirts, he saw children singing a folk song, waving flags innocently. Tears welled streamed. He knew their love was unstealable, a force fiercer than any rifle weapon no enemy could claim. In a desert refuge hideout under starlight, Ibrahim Traoré met 5 loyal sworn comrades, circled on crates under stars. Captain Dio, his truest brother, closest ally, spoke. "We're broke. Nothing left but us left. No gear, no funds. What's next?" Traoré Ibrahim laid down his journal. Maps, truths, secrets, pages thick with truth. "We unveil their lies, expose what's hidden. Not with guns, bullets, but with proof and soul heart." They pored over laptops, sharing recordings, stolen funds, documents of funds misused, villages forsaken, abandoned. Their aim wasn't conquest power, it was to awaken. By sunrise dawn, files reached activists, students, journalists, trusted voices. They waited, praying, their act unforgivable, yet vital to mend a fractured nation, heal a land. A week later, as Ibrahim Traoré was branded a traitor fugitive, Burkina Faso's TVs flickered, hacked. Screens darkened black, then showed Traoré Ibrahim in plain clothes, no medals, before a worn bookshelf. "I'm not your foe. I'm your kin, your brother," he said, voice unwavering steady. Videos and files flooded, children dying in barren, neglected hospitals, millions looted, stolen, villages erased, burned. His voice soared. "We're not fear's captives. We're dignity's heirs, children. Burkina Faso isn't for sale." Mothers sobbed, wept. Soldiers halted. Markets stilled, froze. Homes erupted, not in fury rage, but in awakening, a pulse nation's heartbeat reviving a near-dead land nation. 3 nights later, in Bobo Dioulasso,